The bumpy ride to Mwitampungu village in Kasenda sub-county, tucked away deep inside Kabarole district, offers some spectacular scenery. Through endless acres of evolving hills dotted with large tracts of banana, sorghum and maize gardens, emerald thickets and scattered homesteads built from mud and water to cement. The area is a perfect getaway to escape the rough and tumble of the city. Wow. Driving through the overly scenic beauty as the blue skies rolled by, most of the villages seemed sparsely populated, but the land seemingly put to good use. The Crater Lake spoke the backdrop of this green landscape. The ancient ruins as a result of volcanic explosion more than 10,000 years ago are a jewel in the crown to behold. The area in southwestern Uganda is part of the wider tourism belt that stretches from Fort Portal town right to the Uganda-DR Congo border. To the north, Kabarole is bordered by Ntoroko district, Chibale to the northeast, Kamwenge to the southwest, Bundibujo to the southeast, Kasese, DR Congo and the Rwenzori Mountains to the south and the southwest. This expanse used to be part of the Kibale National Park, which was gazetted in 1932 and fully established in 1993. Locals began encroaching on the park, and as the population spiraled, the park's size reduced. Yet, according to the Worldwide Fund for Nature, this area located within the Albertine Rift is one of the most biodiverse areas in Africa. At Mwitampungu village, which is approximately 40 kilometers from Fort Portal Kasese Road, 45-year-old James Rukampena hobbles on crutches in anguish. In the place of hope lies trepidation. One mid-morning of early September of 2016, the father of 7 was inspecting his garden of mostly bananas that borders Mwamba Crater Lake. It is on that fateful day that he stopped standing firmly on his 2 legs. A heated exchange with security guards of a company that had got a lease for some 56 crater lakes spilled over into a life-threatening situation. Gunshots rang out and Rukampena had been shot in the legs. Rukampena lay unconscious on the ground. But his 13-year-old son in Sinyawan, who he found at home after he had been turned away from school over fees areas of 170,000 shillings, recollected that he ran to the scene as the rest of the neighbors who were going about their gardening business, only to discover Rukampena lying in a pool of blood. He was hospitalized for 3 months and his right leg was amputated. Still, Rukampena doesn't remember much of what transpired. Emotion runs high in his family like a fecal stream. His wife is frustrated that no justice has been served. She counted to us in details.
Abana bareka kushoma baguma haho aho kugira ngo no mwigwaro tukamara mu bwire bwinji tutayine kituhinje tukozire ki twabona ho nembere yejo nabana babugwe cyo kujya bambwe twabona weza no kwisezisha aha ntati ho nko kubona kundiho aho kugira ngo mushiye mirime yarakora kajyo mushubuzo mushara papa ikanyararonda sente arakora ki esente zabura urana hano honka bwo kugira ngo mushatale kwatiramu honka ho na hasiskire na zakubeje ho ni tutuzine nakakuba kicintu cyone bitugyo na hando bishobire.
Once out of hospital and struggling to get back to his feet, the area local councillor Wilbert Biamukama, who happens to run a local NGO, Twerane Holy Listeners Club, came to the rescue of Rukampena.
We decided to take them to court because we thought it was a community concern, and they did not consult population even around the Crater Lakes. So when we went to court, good enough we won the case in the High Court of Fort Portal.
In June 2017, the Fort Portal High Court Judge Anthony Oyuk cancelled a memorandum of understanding signed between Kabarole District Local Government and Further South Engineering Services Limited in 2015. In his judgment, Justice Oyuk ruled that chasing away people from the land and denial to use the Crater Lakes by Further South contravened provision of Article 237, Section 2B of the Constitution. It provides that the government or local government, as determined by Parliament by law, shall hold in trust for the people and protect natural lakes, rivers, wetlands, forest reserves, game reserves, national parks, and any land to be reserved for ecological and touristic purposes for the common good of all citizens. The Memorandum of Understanding had given Further South exclusive rights to over 20 crater lakes in the district. The agreement had been reached after the company sought partnership with the district authorities to carry out cage fish farming on the crater lakes. But as a consequence of taking over nearly all the crater lakes that were a source of livelihood for the various communities, residents NTV talked to recounted how their lives were changed by this Memorandum of Understanding.
Ntibika mwenjoki ntushenye nku kandi nitucumbiraho ebitoke byitu nituya mu fizi z'abana hanyuma ko bamazire kuhikaho batandika kwata abana beitu batahira amezi nigo twine mizi gona agekisharo
kali gamunali ndi mukazi nasawa zosibwa munali nali badewa bali kubye sasi nifa era nifira bwerere kubanga nali nyina sente zange nyagala byenyanja bali ni balega mangu bekarakasa manyi kwekarakasa kwa kweta buniti twinza kuburamu.
This area with its sleepy rhythms had now turned into a hostile environment. The company's business manager Richard Asimwe told NTV that, I quote, "We cannot comment on the matter because it is still in court, but for any information for our side of the story, refer to the Memorandum of Understanding we signed with Kabarole District." NTV has learned that the company has since filed an appeal and the judgment is pending. On May 27, 2015, Further South entered into a Memorandum of Understanding with Kabarole District Administration for sole use of nearly 20 crater lakes. Some of the crater lakes Further South took over included Lake Saka with an area expanse of about 14,000 square meters in Mwitampungu sub-county, Lake Mwamba with an expanse of 25 hectares in Kasenda sub-county, Lake Bukoni with an expanse of 4,500 square meters in Busoro sub-county, Lake Nyabikere with an expanse of 30 hectares in Rutete sub-county, Lake Chirufuka in Kasenda sub-county, among others. The company was to undertake fishing projects in the crater lakes, which were to be implemented in phases according to the Memorandum of Understanding, which was run for 30 years.
Started implementing its activities without the consent of the communities surrounding those crater lakes, and that is what caused the problem. Now, the company, upon restocking and stocking some of the crater lakes, they stopped people from accessing the lakes. People were getting water for domestic use. People had their gardens surrounding the lakes. People were using those lakes for subsistence fishing. They were all stopped and they deployed security personnel to enforce that.
In February this year, the Justice Catherine Bamugemeri led commission into land mismanagement in the country, while in Kabarole also questioned legitimacy of this deal. However, as Rokampena and other residents await for justice and pending decision of the Court of Appeal, we were able to unravel that several other crater lakes in the district are also in the hands of private people, the rich and the well-connected. The Catholic Church in one of the sub-counties also owns a crater lake, which we visited, and residents who are faithfuls of the church declined to comment on the matter on camera. There is also a simmering fight for Nyamiteza Crater Lake in Tabago B village in Kasunganyanja parish in the newly created Bunyangabu district, which was carved out of Kabarole district. This row is over boundaries of the crater lake adjacent to Chatwa Hill. The hill possesses deposits of kaolin, a clay mineral with other chemical elements like aluminium and silicon. The fight has pitted local politicians, including the Bunyangabu Member of Parliament Adolf Mwesge, who is also the Minister of Defense, Italian investor Pietro Averono, who has a tourist lodge called Bella Visita, and the local mining company called Optima Mines and Mineral Limited. This is Nyamiteza Crater Lake in Tabago B village, Kasunganyanja parish in the new Bunyangabu district. The lake is adjacent to Chatwa Hill, where a yet to be substantiated deposit of kaolin minerals were discovered. Now, over there on the hill, one local mining company, Optima Mines Unlimited, had started digging up the hill in anticipation of furthering mining activities across the hill. Now, the company in its mitigation reports, and according to some of the local politicians who support the mining venture here, is that one, the company will lay a safety net on the lake to prevent the debris from falling into the lake to destroy ecosystem, but they will also safely transport the landfill from the dug up area to another area, perhaps in the view of creating the hill on another side. Whether that is possible, that is yet to be known or even seen. But the bigger issue here is that Nyamiteza Crater Lake is, like all the other crater lakes in the region, under threat after the then Kabarole District Administration leased out all the lakes to private investors. Now, we visited some of the crater lakes and the situation across the board leaves a lot to be desired. Now, the bigger question here is that this is a tourism belt. Why is Uganda Tourism Board in all this? The answer, your guess is as good as mine. Optima Mines and Mineral Limited early this year had started mining kaolin at Chatwa Hill, which kicked up a storm. The company's activities were, however, temporarily halted after it was established that its mining license had expired. The district environment officer, according to documents seen by NTV, had raised red flags about the impact of mining on the scenic beauty of the area, which makes it idyllic for tourism. However, the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, discarded his guidance and issued a certificate of approval for the mining. The NEMA Executive Director, Tom Okrut, told NTV, I quote, "I cannot comment on the matter because that Italian investor has sued us. But in short, that is really a small matter to us. We issued a certificate of approval after carefully studying the mining company's environment impact assessment and mitigation reports. And by the time we did so, we were satisfied with what they were going to do." However, Mr. Pietro Averono, the investor in the tourist lodge, argues otherwise.
My interest is exclusively on tourism, and I have been opposing mining already in 2015. Starting 2015, the local people were already mining, and some people even lost their life there while mining, you know, in an artisanal way. And the environmental officer of Kabarole district wrote 3 letters against kaolin, mining in that area, kaolin. And unfortunately, NEMA last year issued a positive assessment in contradiction with what their own officials had written before.
Local politicians are also sharply divided on the issue. Some supported the mining project after being reportedly bribed, and others rejected it. During the course of this investigation, we tried to reach out some of the politicians, but some either ran away and others threatened to beat us.
Both for home consumption, but also we can export. The Greater Kabarole with 52 crater lakes could have exported fish. So the Kabarole administration of the old Kabarole administration leased the lakes not for mining. They leased them for fishing. And the idea was, and fishing is eco-friendly with the crater lakes, because the fish live in the lake. The more you stock, the better for the lake. And so we had, the Kabarole administration had got an investor from Germany whom they had assessed had the capacity to stock the fish. And as far as I'm concerned, that was a good initiative, because it is friendly to the ecosystem of the crater lakes. But when you talk about mining 50 meters away from a lake, the two activities cannot go together.
Debunyangalbu District LC5 Chairman James Adegika, who supports the mining venture, disagrees with the area MP Adolf Mwesige.
This thing started from Kabarole, as I had told you. For us, we are me, I'm not even 7 months in office. These people had already got the certificate and had even started. I mean, they had already started the groundwork, talking to people. When we came in, we just came in recently and we found them talking to people. On giving us money or what, me, I didn't receive anything. I cannot talk for the others, but for us, we are on the legality. If they are doing their things legally, let them go ahead. If they are doing their things illegally, we cannot. That's why we agreed enormously, all of us as leaders, let these people renew their license, let them certify. We even sent our natural resources officer, the environment officer, to go to NEMA to confirm did they really give these people the certificate, and if they did, NEMA is an authority, Ministry of Energy is an authority. For us, we are nothing. If these people have granted, for us, we are about the safety of our people. If our people are safe and we can get something as in terms of revenue to our district, we have no problem.
But as the row rages on, perhaps what is needed is an independent evaluation of whether mining and tourism can mutually coexist. Ministry of Energy officials were not readily available for comment, but one ministry official intimated to NTV that a fact-finding mission had been dispatched on the ground to evaluate the situation before they could comment. The Energy Ministry official, who declined to be named, told NTV that it is possible that mining and tourism can coexist. He said, I quote, "When we made decision to start exploration activities in all these other environment-sensitive areas, we had all this opposition, but right now there is no anyone to prove us wrong. Those who are against mining in Nyangabo have not produced any contradictory report and possible recommendations. They are just riding on emotions, but not facts." There is fear that as investors jockey for resources across the country, those in the lower ranks of the society will be expelled from their lands and deprived of any royalties. Not so long ago, these crater lakes and hills were communally owned and a source of livelihood. Today, they are in the hands of strangers who only care about profits. Frederick Mosisi, NTV.